Hello, welcome back everybody. This is Miniature Mike. Today we're going to continue our tier list series for sculpts and minis, and I'm going to do one of my favorite sets of all time, The Force Unleashed. So, without further ado, let's just jump on into this. Apologize, it's been a minute since I've done one of these, but just been a busy summer. It's been a lot of fun, so I'm looking forward to being able to put another one of these out for you guys right now. Alright, first things first, we got good old Darth Revan. I love this sculpt personally. I'm going to put him in A tier. I love the pose, love what he looks like, looks fantastic. I might bump him to S tier, but I was thinking about it, I was like, really good. We'll see. So maybe I'll bump to S tier in a bit, but fantastic sculpt though, in my opinion. Shock T, I think this one's also A tier. I've always thought this sculpt of Shock T was fantastic. Looks good, great pose. Just really captures what she looks like in the video game very, very well, in my opinion. Kazdan Paratus, I'll put him in B tier. You know, he's one of the mini characters. I like him a lot. Pretty solid looking sculpt. Definitely think the arms coming out are pretty cool. Maybe some people might rate that higher, but definitely looks pretty good. No, I'm a fan of it. Let's see here, Hoth Trooper. What do I think about this Hoth Trooper? Is it okay? It's a little wonky. Not bad. Not like terrible, but I'll put it in C tier. It's not my favorite. Alright, good old Golden Arms turret. I mean, it's not much to it. It's like if you like the design, you like it. I'm just going to throw it in B tier. I have a thing for some of the huge minis. They just look cool. It's not necessarily interesting, but like, it's just a giant tower, you know, his gun sticking out. I've always kind of liked this design. It's kind of fun. So I'll throw it in B tier, but can't go higher than that. Okay. Next is Chewbacca of Hoth. Not bad. Looks like he's getting blasted by some wind, honestly. I think they do pretty good texture with his fur on this, especially. Instead of it being smooth, it's like pretty rough. I think it's a really solid one. I kind of like it. I might put it top of B tier, and I'll bump it up to A tier if I really like it a lot. Let's see. Han Solo on Carbonite. Pretty solid. I know in the game it's kind of a gimmicky piece, but I think it's pretty cool. I mean, just a slab of carbonite. They definitely capture what he looks like pretty well. I'll put him in B tier, but won't put him any higher than that personally. But it is cool. It is cool though. Let's see here, Han Solo of Hoth. What do I think about this? I don't know. I've never been a huge fan of this particular Han Solo. He's not like bad, so I'm not gonna put him in D tier. But I think it's just okay. Just kind of stepping forward, gun to the side. Maybe it's not my taste. Maybe I'll put bottom of B tier and I'll drop if I feel like I need to. Okay, Hoth Trooper Officer. Hoth Trooper Officer. I always thought he was given the birdie. It's just always what I thought when I was growing up. I just thought it looked hilarious. It's fine. I'll do bottom of... it's a C tier sculpt, let's be real. It's whatever. It's better than this sculpt though, but they're not bad. Hoth Trooper with Repeating Blaster. Man, as you can tell, I just don't really have a thing for... Some Hoth Troopers have really good looks to me, and then I'll put this guy bottom of B tier. It's okay. It's fine. I think Han Solo's definitely better, so I gotta give him a little bit more. But, yeah, let's do that. Let's see. Juno Eclipse. It's fine. I don't know. I'll put her in C tier. It's just kind of just standing up, head to the side. Paint job's fine. It's not... I don't know, it's not a particular stance or pose or anything that really interests me. And as you've probably gathered by now, I'm really like poses. Whereas I know some of you do put a lot of emphasis on paint jobs, which is honestly really, really valid. So definitely want to try to incorporate that a little bit more if possible. K3PO, I think looks really cool. I'm going to put him in A tier. The reason I love him, I think he's detailed really nicely. In this case, I think he's got a great paint job. And I love like the kind of like the battle damage on the chest a little bit or whatever it is. Or I don't know. I'm a fan of... I've always thought K3PO kind of looked pretty sweet, so that's cool looking. Okay, so Luke and Yoda. Unfortunately, I do like it, but I think Luke's paint job's a little weird on his face. It's not necessarily... It does capture kind of what it looks like, you know, Yoda in the backpack, running around, jumping, doing somersaults and flips and all that jazz. Does a good job at that, but at the same time... I always thought Luke's face was maybe not quite the best, but anyway, that's just me. Solid though, still a solid one. Han Solo of Hoth. Okay, personally, I think this might be an S tier one. I just love the pose. I love the detail of the Rebel. He's in the Rebel suit, and it just looks like he's, you know, Han Solo Luke Skywalker Unleashed, gonna blow out some huge force power. So I've always thought this was a fantastic sculpt. So personally, I'm gonna probably put an S tier. So let's see the speeder. I'll just put it in C tier. It's fine. It's no speeder, but it's gray. Okay. I know one of the first huge characters I kind of put low, but whatever. Let's see what's next. We got the Mon Calamari medic. It's okay. I mean, it's just an ordinary Mon Calamari, just with kind of the standard uniform. Details solid, but it's not really a particular one that wows me too much personally. So, Master Coda, I do like this one quite a bit. I might put this low A tier, maybe drop it to high B tier. I always thought Master Coda looked pretty cool. Lightsaber, solid detail, kind of outhand, getting ready to do his force repulse. So definitely a really good one. Maybe high B tier, but I'll put low A tier for right now. Princess Leia, it's a fine sculpt. I'm gonna do bottom of B tier. I don't dislike it. She's kind of sneaking around Cloud City. Solid detail as well. Just kind of, I don't know, maybe not like the most epic sculpt in my opinion, but it's not bad. Rebel Marksman, I'm going to put this one up in A tier. I've always thought these looked so cool. Maybe it's because they look so much like their Star Wars Battlefront counterpart. And I think the sniper position is actually accomplished pretty well here. Sometimes when a character's in sniper, in this game, like it's like too high or like in just like the wrong spot. But I've always thought the Rebel Marksmans look really cool. So I'm a big fan of the sculpt personally. Let's see. Obi-Wan Kenobi Unleashed. Personally, I'm going to do high B tier. I do like it. Really solid sculpt, though. But not my most favorite looking one, but definitely solid. Let's see. Tauntaun. A Hoth Trooper on Tauntaun. Pretty solid. We've seen a couple Tauntauns already from Luke. And then also we've seen one from Han Solo. Definitely an interesting character. I'm going to put him just right there in the middle of B tier. Rebel Troop Cart. What do I think was a Rebel Troop Cart? I don't know. I'm gonna put it down at C tier. I don't really care for it all that much. Like, okay, it looks like a bucket. It's a dice box. It's something else you want to use it for, but I don't really care for it. Rebel Vanguard. I think this guy, again, looks like the Star Wars Battlefront counterpart. He looks pretty cool. What do I think? It's not bad, but it's not my favorite one either. I think I'm gonna put it low B tier, but it's definitely solid. It's a solid pose. He's got the giant rocket launcher in his arm ready to fire. I'll bump him up just a little bit more. I think I kind of like it. So, but not necessarily at number one. Next is Vader's Apprentice Redeemed. I think it's a pretty cool sculpt personally. I'm thinking about A or S tier. I just love how he's jumping, lightsaber behind about to strike. Definitely has that cape going out there, or like not the cape, but like the tunic or whatever. I'm a fan of it. I'm gonna put it right up there behind Revan. Really good looking sculpt though. See Verpin Tech. These guys are kind of mixed. I think detail wise they look awesome. Super skinny. They get like the limbs correct. Kind of jagged edges. I think detail-wise, these guys are awesome. The thing that drives me insane is that they're always smashed. Always. They're always just like falling, like broken in half. I'm going to put these guys in A tier. I think, and the reason I'm going to put these guys in A tier personally, like I mentioned, I think they did a fantastic job with getting like, really skinny proportions, really great detail on something so skinny and small. Like the face, I think it's just so detailed. I really have always thought the Verpin Tech sculpt was awesome, minus it always bending over. So there's that. Sorry, Wedge Antilles, I'm gonna put you down here. Whatever. It's not an interesting sculpt to me, and I don't know if the detail's quite as awesome on this character. Let's see, Wookiee Warrior, definitely high B tier. Man, I'm gonna probably put this top of B tier. Ooh, maybe even A tier. I love this. This is a really good sculpt for Wookiees. I think they got Wookiees really done well in this set. You got good detail, especially on all the fur. They look like, although it looks like he's got a little bit of wind in the face. At least that's how I've always seen it. But, it's in the eye of the beholder. Let's say B tier for this sculpt. High B tier means I do like it. It's a really solid one. Maybe, yeah, I'll just do that. Dark Trooper looks good. Again, reminds me of the Star Wars Battlefront counterpart. I really like this set as well because there's a lot of Star Wars Battlefront reference characters that are named the same. They do the same thing. It's a lot of fun, so I'm a fan of it. Sculpt-wise, I think it's solid. Not my favorite. I think the pose It's okay. It's not my favorite pose. It's just kind of like doing, just kind of standing there, gun up like that. A little bit of a corny pose, I guess. So I'll put it down, but still good detail on the Dark Trooper. Looks good overall. I'm a fan. Darth Vader Unleashed. Not my favorite Darth Vader sculpt, but it's good. It's a good one for sure. I'm gonna put it in A tier, B tier. Probably put it up here, just right below Castan Paratus. There's better Darth Vader sculpts in the game, in my opinion, that are really epic. Just really, I don't know, just really good-looking ones, I guess you could say. Impressive poses and whatnot. This one's really solid, but it's kind of like, for me, it's somewhere in the middle of Darth Vader sculpts, personally. Okay, so Emperor's Shadow Guard. I like the resolute stance that these guys have. Really epic giant lightsaber staff. They do break a lot, but they're pretty cool. I don't think I can put these in A tier, but I really, really like the way they look. So I'm going to actually stick these guys just ahead of Vader. I know the pose isn't a lot of action, but there's something about just like that. The way he looks, just full black. The super, super tall lightsaber coming out of it. They look cool. I'm a fan. I think they look pretty cool, but I think I'm going to just kind of keep them down here around. I'll put them above Castan. Yeah, that sounds fine. I'll do that. Okay, next we have the Raxus Prime Trooper. They look pretty good. Not bad overall. I might say these are lower B tier personally. Pretty generic pose, but they do look nice. Good detail on the mask. Nice coloring with like the red, the sandy color. They look pretty nice. I'm actually got to put this above the turret. I'm going to put these guys both at the bottom. Yep. There we go. I'll put a sort of middle-low B tier. I definitely think they look cool, but maybe they don't like jump out to me quite as much. AT-AT Driver. For some reason, personally, I've not liked this. I think, to me, it's one of those sculpts where I know he's kind of running, dashing forward, but it always looks like he's tripping on something and falling forward, and I'm not a fan of those types of sculpts, personally, in terms of like the poses. The detail's fine, you know, it's not like there's too much craziness going on here. It's a lot of white, a lot of like kind of bluish gray color, but it's fine. I'll probably put a little bit higher B tier. I'll put it in mid C tier. That sounds good for me. Admiral Ozzel, for officers, I think it looks pretty cool. You know, he's not just standing there. At least he's kind of pointing. I think the detail on him is pretty solid for being just kind of a more just less dynamic looking character. Solid detail. You can see his face pretty well defined. So I'm a fan of it. I think I'll put him still in B tier, but not one of my favorite sculpts of all time. So I'll put him kind of right there. Felucian Stormtrooper Commander. Let's see. What do I think about Felucian Stormtrooper Commander on this? Oh boy. I do like the way they look. I do feel like the blue is just kind of splattered on there. It's a good pose. Like, it looks like he's trying to get into cover a little bit while being careful while giving commands. Not bad. Let's see. I'm feeling B tier on this thing right here. For me, it's not quite A tier. It needs a little bit more, but maybe even like higher. Yeah, I'll put it right below Darth Vader. Good looking Stormtrooper. Not my favorite one, but definitely a really good one, so I'll put him in mid B tier. The Goddel Imperial Assassin. I'll put it top of C tier. Not my favorite one either. It's okay. You know, they kind of get the Goddel's look. It's just a very dark mini, but it's not a dark that really stands out to me. It's just like, okay, whatever. I'll put him down there. Death Star. This is the Navy Trooper. Every time I see these guys, it looks like, I know they're aiming, but it almost looks like his gun is like sagging downward and he's not really aiming down the barrel. I don't know. I just think these guys, it's just, I'm not a huge fan of the design of these guys in the first place. They're a little too cheesy, corny looking, but the sculpt here doesn't really help it out for me. I'm not a fan of this sculpt. I think it's kind of silly, personally, but I'll leave them there. Let's do the Evo Trooper next. Pretty nice. I'm going to put this near the Raxus Prime Trooper. I've always thought they looked kind of sort of similar. I like the Raxus Prime Trooper's look just a little bit more, though, than the Evo Trooper. The Evo Trooper's got a nice pose. Still a really solid-looking sculpt, but I'll put him right there. That's good enough. Let's see. Snow Trooper. I do like this Snow Trooper. The only thing that's a little weird about it is it feels like his left arm is really far back. So almost like he looks a little bit of a contorted character, but I do think the detail's pretty nice on him, so I'm going to give that to him and put him just at the very bottom of these turrets. Yeah, that'll be good. Imperial Navy's the officer. Let's see. I'm just gonna put these Navy guys down here. It's fine. I'll put them bottom of C tier. I don't think it's like a bad one, but it's not really a sculpt that is interesting to me in any way, shape, or form. Even though it's it's another Imperial officer, not too dissimilar from Ozzel, but I like Ozzel's detail just a little bit more. Next, we get the Jack Stormtrooper. Maybe it's just this angle, but this photo, just the Stormtrooper has like enormous shoulders. Holy smokes. And he's just kind of running forward. I think it's a good-looking Stormtrooper overall. I think, for me, the Rebel Stormtroopers are still the best-looking ones. I know they're the first ones, but for some reason, I feel like they got it exactly right with those ones, especially the one that's aiming. It's probably my favorite Stormtrooper pose. These ones are fine. I'm going to put them at high C. I'm going to put a low B tier. I still kind of like these particular Stormtroopers. I know this guy looks a little bit too jacked, though, but it's not a bad pose, so I'll put him in bottom of B tier. I like these turrets a little more. Okay, the Crawler. I don't know where to put this thing. I think this mini is ridiculous, personally, because he's a 3x3, but in reality he should be like a 6x5 or something. It's like, what are we doing? As a vehicle, it's tough, because like as a vehicle, like it looks cool, like it's big, they can make it really detailed because it's a big miniature, but man, I think I'm going to put it top of D tier, and just hear me out. Like, if this wasn't a game, like if it's not part of the game, it looks like a really cool toy. But the fact that it's part of the game, I just think it's ridiculous. Like, I think it's a totally ridiculous mini, unfortunately. So I'm just gonna put them on top of D tier. I think it's silly. Like, in the game, they're not that good anyway, but like it looks good, so it's like I want to say it's up high, but I just think that these things are ridiculous. It's like, what is this thing doing here? So if my logic is inconsistent or doesn't make sense, like I said, if I was judging this as not necessarily a Star Wars miniature, I might put it up in like the B tier. Like, it looks cool, it looks fine. I have always thought the TIE Crawler concept was also ridiculous and silly, so I'm just gonna put it in D tier and call it good. Okay, ATST, Wookiee Hunter ATST. This is my second S tier. I think these guys, ever since they came out, I didn't really care what the powers were. It's like, oh, it's another ATST. But I always thought these things looked so freaking cool. Massive net guns. It's this really like nice, almost like rusty green color. I don't know. These things look fantastic. So I gotta put this in S tier. It's one of my favorite looking huge characters in the game. They definitely knocked it out of the park with this. Let's move on now to Darth Vader's apprentice, Unleashed. It's a solid looking pose. I think I like the redeemed pose more just because it's a little bit more dynamic. But this pose, like, it does kind of capture what it looks like in the game, but it's not an interesting pose. I think they could have made it a little bit more interesting, exciting, maybe captured more of a dynamic feel. I don't know what that would have looked like necessarily. Maybe he's like using the Force powers or something, but unfortunately for me, while in the game he is kind of fun, he's never been my favorite pose. I'm going to put him down here just around these guys. I don't know. Yeah, it's probably a hot take, but I've never been a big fan of this specific sculpt, personally. Could be a little bit better. I think this one's definitely superior sculpt-wise. But in the game, obviously, this guy's very rare, and the lightning's a lot of fun. Garambel Iblis, not bad. I think he's also worthy of a B tier character. I think he looks good. Good detail on another officer type character. I'll put him with Ozzel. I'll put him just below Ozzel, though. Let's see with the Eminent Scout. I think they do a good job with these aliens. They're kind of has a trident in his hand. Really interesting portions. Good detail. You can kind of see almost like the texture on the skin really nicely. I might put this guy in really, really high B tier. I've always been kind of a fan of these sculpts. They look cool. I'm a fan of the mini as well, or like the actual character in the game. I think they're a lot of fun. I won't get too crazy with this guy though. I'll put him high B tier. Definitely pretty cool in my opinion. Let's see, Boba Fett. I think this is Boba Fett Mercenary. Yep. I think he looks pretty good. I'm going to put him in A tier. Where in A tier? Almost like a reverse sculpt of the Marksman in a way, but looks like Boba Fett. I think he does look good. He's not my favorite looking Boba Fett. Obviously, I think I like the Rebel Storm one more, even though it's older. I like Boba Fett Bounty Hunter more. I like Boba Fett Mercenary Commander more. Yeah, I think I like those ones more. I think he kind of comes in the next place. So I will put him in A tier, but I'll put him low A tier though. Kamasi Noble. Let's just skip and put the Cloud Pilot down here. I don't like the look of the Cloud Pilot at all. I don't like the detail on these guys. They look silly. I don't know. Not a fan. So I'll skip, put him down here. Kamasi Noble. I gotta rank this guy. Where should I put the Kamasi Noble? For what the Kamasis are in universe, I think they do capture that very well. Looks very diplomatic. A non-aggressive species. Looks like it looks fine. I'll just put a bottom of A tier, C tier, no, bottom of B tier. I've always kind of liked the way they look. I know the pose isn't interesting at all. It's also kind of bland, but for some reason I just thought the minis look fine. So bottom of B tier it is. Maybe top of C tier, but I'll just do B tier for now. Let's do the Felucian Warrior on Rancor. Again, this guy is probably, I think it's probably one of the best looking minis in the set. Essentially, you get a Rancor from Universe. You maybe improve the detail a little bit, give it a crazy paint job, have a dude writing on top. These things look pretty cool, so I'm a big fan. I gotta put these guys top of S tier. I always thought they look good. Junk Golem, I do like the way they look. Awesome detail on these things. They're huge. It's easier to accomplish this detail. I'm gonna put these guys in A tier, probably right there. Yeah, I think this is a sweet looking sculpt. Same with the Kanabi White Spider. I'll put it here as well. I'll put it just above. I don't know. I do like both of these. I like the way both of these larges look. They look fantastic, especially the Kanabi Spider. It was fun to see these in Star Wars Rebels to get brought in, but like, man, these things look fantastic. Great. Oh, they're just cool. Cool huges. Gotta put them up there. Next we have, let's see here. I want to say Kamari Vosa, but no, this is the better version of Kamari Vosa. This is Maris Brood. So let's see. I do like the double lightsabers. They look great. I think it's a solid looking top mini. I'm going to put a high B tier. Not my favorite. Maybe low A tier. I'll do low A tier. I think it's a really good looking mini. I like the way it is two lightsabers, but they're kind of crossing in a way so it looks like it's a double-bladed. I think it's a solid-looking pose. The detail is solid as well, so I'll put Mars Brood on bottom of A. Moon Tactics Broker, I'll put high C tier. It's fine. It's just a kind of a generic Moon raising his finger. I don't know. Minoc, I do gotta put these in A tier. I know they're not like the most exciting-looking things, but it's just so fun to get a creature, that specific creature from Star Wars in here. And they look really cool. They look like they're just about to, jump onto you, kind of be like a leech, I guess you could say. I think these things look awesome, so I'm going to put these guys mid A tier. I think they look fun. I want to collect more of them for sure. Proxy definitely captures the way Proxy looks. I like the translucent blue going on there. It's not necessarily the most interesting looking pose. He does look good for what Proxy looks like, so I'll probably stick him just kind of center B tier. Definitely. Maybe for some people they might put him higher. Definitely captures them pretty good. Tolosian Tank Droid. I don't really know these things very well from what they are referenced in. They're just kind of these giant blocks. They're kind of too blocky for me. I'm gonna put this just in C tier. Not my favorite. Huge really. I've never been they're actually pretty good. If you pair these up with the right things, they can be pretty good in the game themselves. But as like a sculpt, they're just so blocky. They're just like these chunks, and I don't know. Some chunks look better than others, but I'll put them down in C tier. Not my favorite looking one. Now we got up a series of Ugnaughts. The Uggernaut looks okay. It's not my favorite looking huge either. You got a kind of a twin riding war machine thing going on there, but it doesn't feel like this has as much cool detail. It is a very small, huge character, so that's probably why. I'll put him down here in B tier, right there. Sticking kind of lower B tier. Looks alright. I'll put them down there. Both these Ugnaughts, whatever. I'm not a huge fan of Ugnaught minis anyway. They look fine for Ugnaughts, I guess. However Ugnaughts go. So I'll stick them just down here in C tier. They're just really small little points. They're not necessarily interesting sculpts to me, but they're not bad either. Last is 21B. 21B is another pretty good looking one. I think they do capture him pretty well. Really skinny joints, skinny limbs. Kind of looks the way he would stand in Star Wars as well. I'm a fan of this particular sculpt. I will put it maybe higher B tier. I'm going to bump Revan up to S tier. I think Revan looks really good. So, okay, let's do a final look at. I think these are the S tier characters that I want to put in here. Let's see. Yep, the Felucian Rancor, the Wookiee Hunter ATST, Luke Skywalker, and then Darth Revan. These are my favorite looking sculpts in this set. A tier, really good. They had some really good looking uncommons in this set for sure. I really like how some of these ones particularly look. And then a lot of good B tiers. So in this one, not too many bad set ones. Just not a fan of the Cloud Car Pilot, the Navy Trooper, and then I just think this thing is so silly. Whatever. Gotta love a TIE Crawler. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And let's see what's next. I think Legacy of the Force is going to be the next one I'll do. So stay tuned for whenever I'm able to get that one out. And if you haven't yet, please like, subscribe, definitely comment. Would love to hear your thoughts on all of these minis, their sculpts. What are your favorite? What are your least favorite? And I'm looking forward to hearing. Anyways, until next time, have a good one.